I want something like,
Oh, don't point at that direction.
I joined the Air Force in 1996, and I had to assimilate to the lifestyle of the Air Force, meaning I had to change my ways and become an airman, and that's exactly what I did 21 years ago. I want to read a quote that I have here. It is from a good document that I read. It's called America's Air Force, A Profession of Arms. It is from July 2015, as you hear the thunder outside. General Ronald Fogelman was our 15th Chief of Staff in the Air Force. He was the Chief of Staff when I joined in 1996. And here's his quote. "We are not engaged in just another job. We are practitioners of the profession of arms. We are entrusted with the security of our nation, the protection of our citizens, and the preservation of its way of life. In this capacity, we serve as guardians of America's future. By its very nature, this responsibility requires us to place the needs of our service and our country before personal concerns." That is part of the Air Force core values, which is service before self, integrity in all we do, and integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. I'm getting old. So when I say I had to assimilate to the Air Force, I had to live those core values at all times. And I took the enlisted oath. I also took the officer oath. And here we are 21 years later. What is the purpose of this video, the topic of this video? And that is Air Force, my final year. Today is June 6th, 2017. In June 1st of 2018, and 1 year from now, I will be retired, effective 1 June. So what are my expectations for my final year in the Air Force? I'm going to share that with you. The first thing is my expectation personally is to continue to do my job, the job that the Air Force pays me to do. In the military, this video applies to all branches, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard. There's going to be maybe some differences, but very slightly. So a lot of this applies across the board to other branches with very small differences. In the military, there is a term called ROAD, R-O-A-D, which stands for Retired on Active Duty. And what that's basically saying is that this person is still getting paid on active duty. However, because they're retiring, they are just slacking off or slowing it way down. And that's not something I want to do. So I have ownership of my last year as far as the quality of work. I still love to show up to work first thing in the morning and get busy with whatever's on the schedule. Now, as I have decided to retire, I haven't hit the button to retire on the application yet because they have to project my separation to 30 May of next year, and then effective a retirement date of 1 June once it gets approved. That is right around the corner. So I already requested for the Air Force to project my separation from active duty back into the Air Force Reserve, since when I retire, I'm going to have a reserve retirement, meaning I won't get it next year. I'll get my pay and medical down the road in approximately 11 years. I'll get it about 56 years and 9 months. What I'm giving up is my promotion board in 1 year, next summer, 2018, for 05 Lieutenant Colonel. And I know I'll either get it in 2018 or 2019. However, when you know it's time, you know it's time, and that's exactly how I feel. It's something that I'd love to have. However, I'm not going to pursue it. I have decided to retire. Am I still valuable to contribute to the Air Force right now and in the future? The answer is yes. I'm still willing and able to contribute at a high level for 1 more year. After that, it will be in a different capacity. I will be an Air Force civilian again in 2018, and I will be able to continue to serve in a different capacity. What can I expect for my final year? Temporary duties, or TDYs, that's when you go somewhere for a conference or for training, usually short period of time. Most likely, I have seen the last of my TDY while on active duty. We will see what happens, but I don't anticipate me going anywhere for the Air Force. Of course, if they want me to go somewhere, I'd gladly go. Education. Can I get any education? Well, yes, I can get on-the-job education or experience, things like that. Formal schools, whether it's a degree, no, because I've already maxed out at a master's degree, and my daughter is currently using my post 9/11 GI Bill for her school, which is a great benefit. However, training is something that will continue even in the next year. And the interesting thing is I'm actually in a course today, for 2 days, today and tomorrow, called Fierce Conversations, and this is something that's going to help me even after the Air Force, as an Air Force civilian, or whatever it is that I do. Fierce Conversations, it's a good course. Professional military education, can I take something? Nope, I'm maxed out with Air Command and Staff College. I've completed that. I can't go any higher right now unless I was a higher grade, and that's not the case. One of the things that I do want to do in the next year is to take care of the team that I work with, the airmen that I work with, because that is my responsibility, and I really enjoy doing that. At the same time, they take care of me. A friend of mine is retiring. This is her last month, and she is in the middle of completing an exit survey for the Air Force, asking you, I don't even know what the survey asks because she hasn't shown it to me. She just talked to me about it. Well, would you recommend someone to the Air Force? Would I? Yes, I think I do that with my channel. What would you do different? Things like that. The only thing that I would do different, there's only one regret, and I don't lose any sleep over this at all, but there's one thing that I didn't get to do in my career in the Air Force, enlisted officer, active duty, or reserve, and that was deploy. I volunteered enlisted, active duty, officer, active duty, officer, reserve. I volunteered to deploy, but it just never happened. I did, however, get a lot of great opportunities. I went TDY to England, I went to Hungary, I went to Greenland, I was stationed in Hawaii. So I did get to do a lot, and I visited other countries as well on behalf of the Air Force, because the Air Force sent me there. So what's going to happen with the Air Force once I retire? The answer is the Air Force presses on, just like when anybody separates or retires. That's a good thing. Remember, we joined the military, whatever branch, and we join a branch that is way bigger than us as individuals, always has been, always will be. The Air Force will continue, and I am confident that today's leaders will be able to continue and lead tomorrow and train tomorrow's leaders. There's a lot of great people out there doing good things in the Air Force, always has been in the past. My role in the future after I retire is going to be different. It's going to be as an airman, civilian, helping airmen, helping service members of all branches, because I've done that in the past. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to continue to serve in my community and do things, volunteer. My wife and I have been doing that for a few years already. I was an HOA treasurer for 4 years up until January of this year. We volunteer at our church, we volunteer at our community. So I'm still going to be very proactive. I'm just going to take a different approach as to how I do things. I'm excited about the future. This video is not my farewell to the Air Force. That will happen sometime in May of 2018. Have a great day. Take care.